No, they like line. Now does it have the speed? They like the line. Does it have the speed? They're going hard for line. You have to get by this top yellow. Trevor Johnson leaning on it. He's by it. Now does it stop in time? Has to stop in time. What a shot from Rylan Kleider. We thought it was maybe the hardest option up from the booth, but that's why we're not down there.
A long day. A job well done. Enjoy casual.
Stood at the pinnacle of curling and battled in the most intense games.
Out on the ice, there's no room for compromise.
And when the pressure's on,
every millimeter counts.
It's not just a game.
It's about maximizing performance,
pushing limits,
seizing victory.
When victory hangs in the balance,
I know what I'm relying on.
It's a gold line.
It's a gold line.
It's a gold line.
And it's the choice of champions.
When it comes to the game we love, having the right gear makes all the difference.
Gold Line's new curling shoes and brooms are a game changer.
The shoes, unbelievably comfortable.
And the brooms, lightweight and effective, giving you control on every sweep.
When I step onto the ice, I'm not just prepared, I look sharp.
Have you seen these shoes? They are a game changer.
And the brooms, light as a feather.
It's a gold line.
It's a gold line.
It's a gold line.
And it's the choice of champions.
It has happened where people just haven't noticed and they've run out of time. I'm like, sounds good. Oh, overcooked it a bit. Jeez.
Clean! Keep going, EJ!
Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going.
-1,000 flash will win Apres curl.
Oh, they're really sweeping this, boys. They're really sweeping this. Oh, boy, you can't give up a steal here.
Oh, perfect.
Okay, nice shot.
Here we go. It's happening.
Yeah, draw for the win for Rylan Kleider. Needs a piece of the forefoot. He's been really good all game. Trevor Johnson on this one here.
Can't hear yet for line ever.
No, they like line. Now does it have the speed? They like the line. Does it have the speed? They're going hard for line. You have to get by this top yellow. Trevor Johnson leaning on it. He's by it. Now does it stop in time? Has to stop in time. What a shot from Rylan Kleider. We thought it was maybe the hardest option up from the booth, but that's why we're not down there.
A long day. Enjoy casual.
Stood at the pinnacle of curling and battled in the most intense games.
Out on the ice, there's no room for compromise.
And when the pressure's on,
Every millimeter counts.
It's not just a game.
It's about maximizing performance.
Pushing limits.
Seizing victory.
when victory hangs in the balance,
I know what I'm relying on.
It's a gold line.
It's a gold line.
It's a gold line.
And it's the choice of champions.
When it comes to the game we love, having the right gear makes all the difference.
Gold Line's new curling shoes and brooms are a game changer.
The shoes, unbelievably comfortable.
And the brooms, lightweight and effective, giving you control on every sweep.
When I step onto the ice, I'm not just prepared, I look sharp.
Have you seen these shoes? They are a game changer.
And the brooms, light as a feather.
It's a gold line.
It's a gold line.
It's a gold line.
And it's the choice of champions.
It has happened where people just haven't noticed and they've run out of time. I'm like, sounds good. Oh, overcooked it a bit. Jeez.
Clean! Keep going, ET!
Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going.
Minus 1,000 Flash will win Apparay Curl.
Oh, they're really sweeping this, boys. They're
Look at this,
really
is a good
sweeping
one.
this. Oh, boy, you can't give up a steal here.
Oh, perfect.
Okay, nice shot from
Oh, here we go. It's happening.
Yeah, draw for the win for Rylan Kleider. Needs a piece of the forefoot. He's been really good all game. Trevor Johnson on this one here.
Can't hear yet for line ever.
No, they like line. Now does it have the speed? They like the line. Does it have the speed? They're going hard for line. You have to get by this top yellow. Trevor Johnson leaning on it. He's by it. Now does it stop in time? Has to stop in time. What a shot from Rylan Kleider. We thought it was maybe the hardest option up from the booth, but that's why we're not down there.
A long day. Locally, enjoy casual.
Stood at the pinnacle of curling and battled in the most intense games.
Out on the ice, there's no room for compromise.
And when the pressure's on,
Every millimeter counts.
It's not just a game.
It's about maximizing performance.
Pushing limits.
Seizing victory.
when victory hangs in the balance,
I know what I'm relying on.
It's a gold line.
It's a gold line.
It's a gold line.
And it's the choice of champions.
Game. A long day. A job well done. And the final work call. Where your place. Come as you are. Locally, enjoy casual.
Stood at the pinnacle of curling and battled in the most intense games.
Out on the ice, there's no room for compromise.
And when the pressure's on,
every millimeter counts.
It's not just a game.
It's about maximizing performance.
Pushing limits.
Seizing victory.
When victory hangs in the balance,
I know what I'm relying on.
It's a gold line.
It's a gold line.
It's a gold line.
And it's the choice of champions.
When it comes to the game we love, having the right gear makes all the difference.
Gold Line's new curling shoes and brooms are a game changer.
The shoes, unbelievably comfortable.
And the brooms, lightweight and effective, giving you control on every sweep.
When I step onto the ice, I'm not just prepared, I look sharp.
Have you seen these shoes? They are a game changer.
And the brooms, light as a feather.
It's a gold line.
It's a gold line.
It's a gold line.
And it's the choice of champions.
It has happened where people just haven't noticed and they've run out of time. I'm like, sounds good. Oh, overcooked it a bit. Jeez.
Clean! Keep going, ET!
Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going.
Minus 1,000 flash will win apres curl.
Oh, they're really sweeping this, boys. They're really sweeping this. Oh, boy, you can't give up a steal here.
Oh, perfect.
Okay, nice shot.
Well, here we go. It's happening.
Yeah, draw for the win for Rylan Kleider. Needs a piece of the forefoot. He's been really good all game. Trevor Johnson on this one here.
Can't hear yet for line ever.
No, they like line. Now does it have the speed? They like the line. Does it have the speed? They're going hard for line. You have to get by this top yellow. Trevor Johnson leaning on it. He's by it. Now does it stop in time? Has to stop in time. What a shot from Rylan Kleider. We thought it was maybe the hardest option up from the booth, but that's why we're not down there.
A long day, a job well done, and the final. Locally, enjoy casual.
Stood at the pinnacle of curling and battled in the most intense games.
Out on the ice, there's no room for compromise.
And when the pressure's on,
Every millimeter counts.
It's not just a game.
It's about maximizing performance,
Pushing limits.
Seizing victory.
when victory hangs in the balance,
I know what I'm relying on.
It's a gold line.
it's a gold line.
It's a gold line.
And it's the choice of champions.
When it comes to the game we love, having the right gear makes all the difference.
Gold Line's new curling shoes and brooms are a game changer.
The shoes? Unbelievably comfortable.
And the brooms? Lightweight and effective, giving you control on every sweep.
When I step onto the ice, I'm not just prepared, I look sharp.
Have you seen these shoes? They are a game changer.
And the brooms? Light as a feather.
It's a Gold Line.
It's a Gold Line.
It's a Gold Line.
And is the choice of champions.
It has happened where people just haven't noticed and they've run out of time. I'm like, sounds good. Oh, overcooked it a bit. Jeez.
Clean. Keep going, ET.
Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going.
Minus 1,000 flash will win apres curl.
Oh, they're really sweeping this, boys. They're really sweeping this. Oh, boy, you can't give up a steal here.
Oh, perfect.
Okay, nice shot from
Yes, but here we go. It's happening.
Yeah, draw for the win for Rylan Kleider. Needs a piece to the forefoot. He's been really good all game. Trevor Johnson on this one here.
Can't hear yet for line ever.
No, they like line. Now does it have the speed? They like the line. Does it have the speed? They're going hard for line. You have to get by this top yellow. Trevor Johnson leaning on it. He's by it. Now does it stop in time? Has to stop in time. What a shot from Rylan Kleider. We thought it was maybe the hardest option up from the booth, but that's why we're not down there.
A long day. A job well done. Locally, enjoy casual.
Stood at the pinnacle of curling and battled in the most intense games.
Out on the ice, there's no room for compromise.
And when the pressure's on,
Every millimeter counts.
It's not just a game.
It's about maximizing performance.
Pushing limits.
Seizing victory.
when victory hangs in the balance,
I know what I'm relying on.
It's a Gold Line.
It's a Gold Line.
It's a Gold Line.
And it's the choice of champions.
Another game, a long day, a job well done, and the final work call. Where your place. Eat locally, enjoy casual.
Stood at the pinnacle of curling and battled in the most intense games.
Out on the ice, there's no room for compromise.
And when the pressure's on,
every millimeter counts.
It's not just a game.
It's about maximizing performance.
Pushing limits.
Seizing victory.
When victory hangs in the balance,
I know what I'm relying on.
It's a Gold Line.
It's a Gold Line.
It's a Gold Line.
And it's the choice of champions.
When it comes to the game we love, having the right gear makes all the difference.
Gold Line's new curling shoes and brooms are a game changer.
The shoes, unbelievably comfortable.
And the brooms, lightweight and effective, giving you control on every sweep.
When I step onto the ice, I'm not just prepared, I look sharp.
Have you seen these shoes? They are a game changer.
And the brooms, light as a feather.
It's a Gold Line.
It's a Gold Line.
It's a Gold Line.
And is the choice of champions.
It has happened where people just haven't noticed and they've run out of time. I'm like, sounds good. Oh, overcooked it a bit. Jeez.
Clean. Keep going, ET.
Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going.
Minus 1,000 flash will win apres curl.
Oh, they're really sweeping this, boys. They're really sweeping this. Oh, boy, you can't give up a steal here.
Oh, perfect.
Okay, nice shot from Caitlin.
Yes, but here we go. It's happening.
Yeah, draw for the win for Rylan Kleider. Needs a piece of the forefoot. He's been really good all game. Trevor Johnson on this one here.
Can't hear yet for line ever.
No, they like line. Now does it have the speed? They like the line. Does it have the speed? They're going hard for line. You have to get by this top yellow. Trevor Johnson leaning on it. He's by it. Now does it stop in time? Has to stop in time. What a shot from Rylan Kleider. We thought it was maybe the hardest option up from the booth, but that's why we're not down there.
A long day. Locally, enjoy casual.
Stood at the pinnacle of curling and battled in the most intense games.
Out on the ice, there's no room for compromise.
And when the pressure's on,
Every millimeter counts.
It's not just a game.
It's about maximizing performance.
Pushing limits.
Seizing victory.
when victory hangs in the balance,
I know what I'm relying on.
It's a gold line.
It's a gold line.
It's a gold line.
And it's the choice of champions.
When it comes to the game we love, having the right gear makes all the difference.
Gold Line's new curling shoes and brooms are a game changer.
The shoes, unbelievably comfortable.
And the brooms, lightweight and effective, giving you control on every sweep.
When I step onto the ice, I'm not just prepared. I look sharp.
Have you seen these shoes? They are a game changer.
And the brooms, light as a feather.
It's a Gold Line.
It's a Gold Line.
It's a Gold Line.
And is the choice of champions.
It has happened where people just haven't noticed when they've run out of time. I'm like, sounds good. Oh, overcooked it a bit. Jeez.
Clean. Keep going, ET.
Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going.
Minus 1,000 flash will win apres curl.
Oh, they're really sweeping this, boys. They're really sweeping this. Oh, boy, you can't give up a steal here.
Oh, perfect.
Okay, nice shot from Caitlin. Hello, curling fans, and welcome back inside the Silent Ice Center here in Nisku, Alberta for Home Team Live's continuing coverage of the Co-op Canadian Open Draw 12 action between Team Reid Carruthers and Team Ross Whyte, a battle of a 2-0 and an 0-2 team. It should be a good one. Both teams desperate to get a W tonight. John Cullen with you as always, and very pleased to be joined by two esteemed guests this evening. Both joined by two-time Scotties champion Chelsea Carey and last year's Brier runner-up Mike McEwen. How you two doing tonight?
Can't complain.
And Mike is doing silent.
I'm good, John. I'm good. Building is buzzing tonight.
Building is buzzing tonight. They're ready for this game as we get set to meet Team Reid Carruthers, curling out of Winnipeg, Manitoba. The skip, of course, is Reid Carruthers. Third is Caitlin Schneider. Second is Derek Samogolski. And lead is Connor Negevin.
Halfway tight. Okay, line's good. Tight. Okay. Keep it. Line's great. Yeah. Go, you can hard it. Can't hard it, no. Hard.
And as this
Line's
Team
really
Whitestone
good.
comes to rest, we'll meet that team as well, curling out of Stirling, Scotland. Skip is, of course, Ross Whyte. Third is Robin Bryden. Second is Duncan McFadgen. And lead is Ewan Kyle. And that graphic is not correct, but, you know, that's fine. You'll figure out what they look like by the end of this game.
Line's close. Line's good for 4.
I did get a DM yesterday from Robin Bryden asking for that graphic to be changed, and it is in the works. It's in the process of happening here. So we do see the first rock in the house from Connor Negevin and a center guard up to follow. And maybe Mike, I'll start with you since you are playing on the men's side of things here this week. A little surprised to see that first stone in the house from Reid Carruthers. We've seen most teams electing to throw the center guard first.
Yeah, I think at this point, he was probably expecting Ross to throw the corner. So I think good expectation from Reid. That's not always the case. Some teams will sort of hit that stone in the house in the first end, kind of break in the ice, especially in the middle. During practice, that doesn't get hit. It'll be heavier in the middle. Some teams will choose to sort of work the ice if they get that opportunity in the first end. So a little gamble paid off.
14.
Yeah, and a nice shot there from Ewan Kyle coming down on top of that red stone.
Be good.
Now, Chelsea, I'll ask you, you know, it's Reid Carruthers coming into this game 0-2. Obviously, we know that 3 losses means you're dead at a slam. Does that change the game plan at all coming into a game like this, knowing it's a must-win game, or is it just kind of stay the course and hope things correct themselves?
Yeah, I think it's a bit of a tough one when you're in that situation, because when you're 0-2, you sort of feel like you have to change something. But you have a game plan coming into any of these events and coming into a season, and this is a team that, you know, that's played a lot. Catlin being the new addition, but they've played together for a long time, and they probably have a pretty good idea of kind of what they want to do. So I think in a perfect world, you don't think about the outcome in that sense, that if you lose, you're dead, and you just kind of try to play loose and hope that it works out for you. But yeah, it's always a tough one coming in knowing that for sure.
So a nice draw from Derek Samogolski as well, and we'll see if Duncan McFadgen can follow it in here.
T-line. Okay, line's fine. T-line. Top button. Carl.
Clean. You know how to brush your knees at the start.
Line's good.
Mark, bite in the 4.
Clean. Yep. Top 4. Hard. Hard line. Really gotta go.
Yes.
Hard.
Unweight.
Just gets by that center guard and maybe overcurls a hair.
They're hoping to hold that, John, kind of about a half rock on the undercurl side of the red stone, just to set up a little angle where they might have a move to push those 2 red stones out of the way. A lot of curl with that in-turn that they just threw.
Yeah, we were watching Sheet B yesterday. I'm actually watching Reid on Sheet B yesterday, but yeah, it seems like the book has been that the ice is curling maybe a little more towards the middle of the 4 sheets. Chelsea, confirm, deny?
We thought that in practice, and then in the game we saw it be reasonably even on B, but it definitely moves towards. We found a lot of movement both ways when we played on that sheet yesterday.
Yeah, it definitely seems like having watched a lot of games from up here and seeing the way the rocks have been traveling, definitely seems as though it's very release and weight sensitive. If you get it started at all or you pump it out at all, you're not probably going to bring it back.
No, it's true, which is the kind of ice that you want. That rewards good throws, and that's what we're looking for. But it definitely is that. You got to get the weight right, and you got to have the same release, and like that consistency is the key part. If you throw 2 in a row and you pop the second one a little more, or you don't pop it quite as much, you're going to see it run completely differently. So definitely rewards precision in the throw.
I think we're going to see some big weight here. Can Ross get all 3 reds moving and the yellow kind of clip almost 4 stones possibly?
Yeah, he might.
Ross did say he thought maybe on the way by it would get that red stone that's in the
might jiggle those 2 in the middle if he hits it right. There you go.
How about that? Really nice shot there from Duncan McFadgen. Clean up on ILB. And now Ross Whyte line 1 with the hammer, and it's dead buried.
I think what I've noticed, Chelsea, and maybe you can confirm a little bit, is we're day 3 into the competition, and I felt each day we've shown up for our match, it's actually been kind of a learning experience in that the ice has been different every single day for us. It's been some changing conditions. They've all been good conditions, but it's been who's going to catch on to the little changes of the day first. I think is having a really big advantage here.
Yeah, I think figuring it out is definitely key. We've played on sheet C twice and B once, so we found the first day was a little bit straighter in general, and then when we played on B the second day, there was quite a bit of curl. And then back on C today, it was kind of somewhere in the middle. So yeah, I don't disagree. I think the speed's been quite nice in our experience, but the curl has been a little bit of a moving target sometimes.
Yeah. So a nice run back made by Caitlin Schneider. Robin Bryden going to try to follow it up, and he does. Still Carruthers lying to 1, but it's in the open. Maybe a chance for a little backdoor force here for Reed.
This is one of those situations.
14-5?
Do you actually want to go around the opponent's corner?
14-5?
My feeling is, I'm looking at this, Chelsea. I think this is too early. It gives Ross a chance to corner in, to make some moves in behind his corner, and that's what, as a hammer team, that's what you want to do. I'm just wondering, is this a shot too early?
Yeah, I'm with you. It's always a bit scary to go around the opponent's corner guard, and the earlier in the end you do it, the more chances you give them, to your point. So I'm with you. I know why they're doing it, but it makes me a little bit nervous this early in the end.
Are you more nervous now that Catlin threw it 14 feet short?
Yeah, that's not helping the situation, that's for sure.
I don't want to be having to panel.
No, I think as we looked at it, the option might have been drawing somewhere to the middle that you know the speed, forcing Ross into a hit and roll type situation, and maybe converting a force of 1 by that method.
Yeah, and it's like it makes sense if there's no guards there, you're going to split the house and separate them as much as you can, but it's just one of those things that you're kind of taught when you're a kid. You don't go around the opponent's corner guard. That's still stuck in my head, and yours too, I imagine.
It's not never.
Yeah, but you really don't want to. So it's just always a bit of a tough one.
Nailing the timing of that is difficult.
Yeah.
Well, it seems like this might be a tricky spot here. Sorry, Mike.
Exactly.
Robin Bryden comes up well short also.
Yeah, they're both teams light on speed.
Hit a quarter, a third of a rock and roll in. Get this going back a bit.
Yeah, like if you're.
So you only be half open, yeah. Okay. Where'd you get me?
I think as we listened into Catlin, they don't necessarily want to bury this fully because of the lineup on the yellows.
Yeah, I heard that too, and I think that's a smart call. Like you want to tuck enough of it that Ross Whyte can't make the hit and roll under, but you don't need to be fully buried. As long as you tuck a piece here, I think you're pretty happy. And then even if he makes some kind of combo, you can chase it, so it's not so bad.
It's more than what I put down. That's close, though. Okay.
So first rock here for Reed Carruthers in the first end.
Easy.
Trying to find his way to a force.
Whoa. Room. Lots of room. Lots of room. Tons of room.
Line's okay. Line's good.
Still lots of room. Still too much room. Oh, no. Just gotta stop. Sit. Okay.
And is that what you're worried about right there, Mike? Just a little bit too deep.
Give me there, right?
Yeah, it's probably close to the line they were looking for, Chelsea. I think just probably 1 to 2 rocks higher.
Yeah, with 2 feet less weight, I think you'd see that curl a little bit earlier, and also they could have managed it with the sweeping a little bit more if they could have afforded to go for weight, but the weight was all there on its own. So
there's a good view, about half or just a bit more than that buried.
yeah, the line was perfect. It's just a little bit deeper than they would have liked to see it. Now you can freeze to it and be shot. If you tap it a little bit, you probably get shot out of it and leave yourself with a pretty good angle for Ross Whyte here. So big shot here.
So Ross Whyte trying to draw around everything. Needs a freeze here.
Card. Clean.
You and Kyle leaning on this one here. Don't want to click off, though. And that's pretty darn good from Ross Whyte. They lie 1.
Little lit touch heavier than they're probably hoping for, but they managed that angle, I think, perfectly. That's going to be very difficult for Reed to remove.
You could get to it, I guess, but
I think they got it just buried enough that he might not be able to get all the way to it. You probably have to try it. There's not a lot of risk here. You're giving up 2 either way if you don't make it, right? So you may as well take a stab at this. And I imagine once this gets past the guard, you're going to see a lot of carve sweeping from Team Carruthers here.
Pretty tough. And the thing is trying to get
you
low.
The way it goes in there.
I'm noticing how much curl there is tonight. And I felt at our noon game that we were in one of the middle sheets. There was a significant amount of finish. And just with the amount of rotation Ross threw on that draw, about 6 rotations, and still had a ton of arc coming in.
Yeah, we found, and again, we've only played on 2 sheets because we were on C twice, but we found a lot of curl on B in all directions. It was really quite lovely. You're getting outside in curl, you're getting curl to the wings. We found we could carve it if we need to, we could hold it if we need to. It was really quite pleasant to play on. So I think this is maybe possible. It's definitely a tough shot, but again, I don't see a lot of risk. You're running the risk of giving up 2 no matter what you do, so you may as well try this. If you could ever make it, it's a great force, and it's not even an easy shot for 1.
So final stone here for Reed Carruthers, electing to play this one hot. Trying to chip this yellow out. And will completely miss. So really close from Reed Carruthers, but does not touch the yellow, and this will be a free draw to just past full 8-foot for 2 for Ross.
That's one of those ones that looks like a worse miss than it actually was. You have to hit that so thin to make that shot that you're probably closer to making it by doing what he did than you are if you hit half a rock and just dead jam it onto there. But you never want to see a whiff, right? So it's one of those things where in your head it feels worse, but not far off there. But unfortunately, no dice for Team Carruthers. So open draw for 2 here, open I guess, but full 8-foot for 2 for Ross Whyte.
Do you think, in comparison to that draw there,
and unfortunately a good lesson of the woes of playing around the corner guards.
Yes, unfortunately proved our fears right there, Mike.
Sometimes we're right up here.
So occasionally, yeah.
I'm always right.
Yeah.
So final stone, Ross Whyte. Just needs a little better than full 8-foot. Piece of the 4-foot will get the job done.
Can't hurt it, Duncan, don't think. Line's good.
Line's great.
Fadgen and Kyle picking this one up pretty early here.
Turn a T-line, boys. Line's good.
Hard, boys.
They're going to have to work on this one.
Yeah, looks like he might have pulled the string here. Can they get it there?
I think they got it there.
Can they get it there?
What an incredible
sweep.
sweep.
Yes, they can. Great sweep from Ewan and Duncan. That will put 2 on the board for Ross Whyte. We'll get our first look at Reed Carruthers with the hammer after this.
Good shot, Doug. 2 yellow.
Not just prepared, I look sharp.
Have you seen these shoes? They are a game changer.
And the brooms? Light as a feather.
It's a gold line.
It's a gold line.
It's a gold line.
And is the choice of champions.
Still got 7 hours to go, so drink some water. Should we bring a Powerade? Why are we not more than? Have you switched stones? Have you got dunk stones?
This is where we need to listen, Chelsea.
quick.
They're talking about stones. And
Yeah, I was going to say.
Maybe we could pick up something.
I was
here.
about to start bringing the fans back into this end, and then I felt your spidey senses tingling, Mark.
Yeah.
I figured I'd...
Our ears just perked up over here
Yeah.
on this side of the booth.
Yeah, exactly. Well, maybe the two of you can speak to this. I've been obviously talking to a lot of curlers throughout the week, and have heard that some of the rock pairs on the sheets have been a little troublesome. Not that you need to reveal any trade secrets, but is that true? Have the rocks been a little tougher to manage than you're used to?
No, I think we see this across all sets of rocks. There's always going to be some, maybe a touch slower or curl more, the odd straight one, and that's
Still
definitely
hair
a
slow,
skill
yeah.
in teams being able to pick that up maybe in practice or early in a game, so it doesn't cost them later when they're playing a precise shot. So I think that's something our team, I'm sure Chelsea,
I think you can be off it right now. Yeah.
on many of your successful teams, that has been a skill
gotta
that
let
you've
it die a
wanted to
bit here.
master in matching.
We're still
rocks.
all there.
Absolutely, and
What's your broom on
to
its
your
own
point,
right
to
now?
be able to pick it up early. So you
we
start a
need to.
game with a set of rocks, and
Knife, I guess.
if you miss, even if it doesn't end up being
Okay,
the rock,
that's
if one player misses the same way multiple times in a row, when you're playing at this level, they should be good enough that that's not what's happening. So you have to look at the rock then and go, yeah, I thought maybe she was a little soft on these, or there was always a reason, but still at some point you got to move that rock. So definitely is a skill. And we haven't found any terrible ones this week, but this one curls a foot more and that one's 3 feet slow, that kind of stuff. And it's not a huge difference, but it's enough that if you don't know it, it will cost you shots. Once you know it, you can manage it, and that's what we're seeing. So switching rocks there for Team Whyte, obviously thinking that there's something going on with some of them and making that change early. So good on them to pick that up and to make that change after one end.
And we do scout.
Absolutely, yeah.
The coaches you see on the benches, they're with their little binoculars, they're looking at the orders, they're looking across the sheet. What is Team Dushu throwing? What is Adine throwing? And that's all kind of in the scouting for the teams. I actually had an interesting conversation with Mark Shurik, the head ice maker, and he believes these rocks are just starting to come into their own.
Here's ideal. Line's good.
I'm not sure how many years we've been using these in the Grand Slams, but in his opinion, it has taken this long for them to break into the right amount where they're starting to reach their potential, how good this set of stones can be.
Through the 8.
And he knows a lot about that kind of stuff. He does a lot of blueprinting and matching and all that kind of stuff. So if anyone I'm going to trust, to say something like that, Mark is maybe the guy. So
I didn't know that it would take that amount of time.
I didn't either. I wouldn't have thought that. And they've been, I want to say it was around 2018 or so that they got this set. But it could be, I would have to check myself on that. Don't quote me on that, but that's my recollection. But yeah, I wouldn't have thought that either. But it's interesting to hear somebody who's as knowledgeable about that stuff as Mark is for him to say that.
That's 14-9.
So a draw around there for Duncan McFadgen, and a decent setup here for Team Whyte without the hammer, lying 2.
Or just play this. I kind of like this.
One little run back from Derek here, though, will, in theory, open up play to the corners. So this is a big shot for Derek Samogowski up the middle to try to get these 2 yellow stones so they can have access to take their offense to the corners.
Yeah, and you rolled a sort of a corner, too, if you make it properly. Huge shot here.
Gotta go, really gotta go.
Connor Negevin on it out of the hand, and unfortunately Derek Samogowski drives it by the yellow stone in the house, so it's still Whyte lying 2.
Just underneath court.
Mike, you've obviously been watching this Ross Whyte team, playing against them over the last few years. We saw them kind of break through last year, making their way into the top 10, the top 5 of the world rankings. They actually won the Scottish Championship last year. You know, people are used to seeing Bruce Mowat win that title. They won last year. What have you kind of seen in this Ross Whyte team that's been contributing to their sort of rapid development?
You know, they come from the same training regimen as Bruce Mowat. And you can see that early in their development. They are amazing hitting team. That is probably the strength of Team Whyte that I've noticed going against them head to head. They're a very good front running team. And just to see their development at such a young age, kind of following in that Scottish program is, can they really develop teams young and early in that program?
Watch the red.
Yeah, I mean, I think when we think of, and unfortunately Derek Samogulski missing the run back again, I think when we talk about, you know, Canadian generations of curlers, we often think of them as kind of being 10 years apart, generally speaking. And this Whyte team really only about 5 years younger than Bruce Mowat, even less. And some of their, you know, they're not all the same age, but, you know, it's the generation. Then James Craik is a couple of years behind them.
Right on the cheapest side.
You know, you're almost like creating these mini, like, 2 or 3 year generations. We're seeing that with the Japanese women as well. Chelsea, I know you're familiar with their program. It's just like, it's crazy to see how they're producing teams in a runway that it seems like Canada's not really doing right now.
Yeah, it's pretty impressive to watch. And to your point, it's the very small gap in between them. And even when they're not the top team in their country, they're one of the top teams in the world. So, you know, you're seeing 3 Scottish teams at a slam of the 16 best teams in the world, and so you know, they're not. It's hard to compete with Bruce Mowat, but here's Ross Whyte that's 2-0 at a slam. It's really quite impressive what they're doing.
Top 5 in the world and can't go play in the Europeans, can't go play in the world.
I know, right? It's
that
crazy.
was like me and you about 10 years ago in Manitoba.
Yeah.
Can't get to the Brier in the Scotties, but top 5 in the world.
So it was a hit and roll off the corner guard. It is Team Whyte line 3 here, but I think Catlin Schneider will have the chance to get them all. He hits this correctly. And unfortunately just settling for 1. And Team Carruthers just really, I mean, it's nice that one hangs on the rings, but they just really haven't found the bailout shot yet this end.
And in order to create offense in that type of situation where you're trying to get play to the corners, those 2 runs that Derek had, you know, you're looking at as Skip Reed Carruthers to contact to really get the play, because now we're late in the end. And for Reed to generate a 2 score here, he's probably only going to have 1 opportunity.
It becomes a skip's deuce really quick, where if Derek made one of those, then it allows Reed's team to go on the offense a little bit more. So now you feel like you're chasing.
So hitting the open one here is Robin Bryden.
Clean
it. I have a little story about Robin.
Please, hit us with it.
Yep.
So we're actually in the Grand Slam in Charlottetown, I think, in Après Curl on Saturday night, and I had one of my Team McEwen hats on. Nice, beloved camouflage hat that maybe some viewers have seen me play.
I actually can't see you when you're wearing it. It's very weird.
We don't know what hat you're talking about.
And Robin was adamant that he wanted that hat. And then he told me a story about the Perth Masters. I want to say about 15 years ago. Him coming in as a young teenager watching.
Really gotta go.
It was a very sort of like heartfelt story. I felt like he meant it. It also made me feel extremely old.
Yeah.
But at that point, I let him keep the hat.
Wow.
That seems fair.
And that's crazy that you're on the call right now and he's not even respecting you by wearing it on the ice, which is. So I'm deciding maybe that story was a little bit of a fairy tale, but
who knows what happened to that hat? We'll have to ask him.
This has not been a fairy tale end for Team Carruthers. Catlin Schneider trying to hit and roll behind the corner guard after that slight miss from Robin Bryden, but rolls out of the house. And so this is looking more and more like a force here for Team Whyte.
The only good news is that Team Whyte is now in the situation that Mike and I were talking about last end, where you don't really want to go around the corner guard when you don't have the hammer.
He's got to move this.
And And so this is
Dead
kind
on
of the
T-line, just
option
so he's
that
not
I was
as high, so he
mentioning
can't make a
in
roll.
the first end.
T-line, at least
Do
if he
you
plays the
go
roll,
to
he's
the
always
middle?
deep.
Right, the T-line's in front of
T-line
the
to
Force
back
Reed
forward
into
to
a longer hit and roll situation.
Absolutely. I think, I mean, if it was me, I think this is what I would do. I wouldn't want
Yeah,
to be
I'm gonna be able
kind
to
of
make a
bringing the
roll,
play
and
around
if
those
he
corner
makes the roll,
guards. So
he's
if you
deep,
keep
so.
this in the middle, then Reed's got to
Right,
make a hit and
T-line's
roll. And hit and
right in
rolls
front of
are
that yellow
way
too
harder
fast.
than you think they are. They're a
Is
shot
that
in
minimum?
curling that people go, well, I don't want to do that because I leave them
Just
the
to be
hit and
in
roll.
front of
You should
this?
want to leave them the hit and roll. They're very difficult to make. So I like this call. I think this is what I would be doing.
I got there.
Here narrow, Dunk. Love early.
I got there. Just get the weight right. Line's good.
Just get a T-line. Get a T-line.
T-line's great.
Line's good. Just get a T-line at least.
Over curling a touch. T-line.
We're here now.
So pretty much exactly where they wanted it. Team Whyte lies 2.
Yeah. This one.
Or normal.
I was thinking normal. Normal, and it looks like 2/3 is real close.
Yeah. Okay.
Probably something like this.
Sure.
It still might be min, but I think it's close, Cap.
Okay. Ask them what they
I
think.
think after after your sweep, I think that's good.
Nice thing for Reed here is that because there's 2 corner guards that are a little staggered over there, he has a little bit more real estate to roll to and still be buried. Bad news is I think he'll be behind the T line, so it'll leave a freeze opportunity for Ross Whyte.
To get behind those
your way.
guards, yeah.
Yeah.
You're correct. And Ross certainly, right now, it seems like he's got a good command of draw weight.
Yeah, for sure.
Just a little?
He placed that pretty much perfectly. So, and even when we were worried about his draw for 2 there, and without much of an issue, they got it to the 4-foot. So you got to love the confidence that you get by having sweepers like that.
Clean. Whoa. Whoa, then curl. Clean. Curl. Curl.
Whoa.
Clean.
Line.
Really close.
Line.
Okay, good shot.
So they make the double, but do not quite make the roll.
Yeah, it's good to make the double, but yeah.
Keeps the blank alive.
Seen 10,
Don't think
10
the yellow
I think we can
the
trust
yellow
Mason
kind of
Beacom. I
at
like 10, 10.
the front of the house is biting.
No,
10.5 really good to make
from
the
here
roll.
it doesn't look like it. I can see
Let's
some
go
white
10 and a half,
space.
11 then.
Yep.
So I
We
think,
put brush down on it.
from the overhead it certainly
Edge
looks
of
like
bottom,
it's so yeah, blank alive, but
Yeah, that's
an
close. I think
opportunity
that
here
was
for Ross to
minimum
make this hit and
thing.
roll and take that away
10
too.
half,
But
11.
that same
Yeah.
yellow is what
Yeah.
Ross is looking at rolling undercover.
Exactly. The same thing that I just said about Reed having 2 rocks to roll behind is now true for Ross.
I think that'll be close to minimum, but it means we can put a brush down on it.
So a chance for a little backdoor force here for Ross Whyte, looking for a hit and roll. Final stone of his here in end number 2.
Whoa. Clean.
Curl, curl.
Curl. Curl.
You and Kyle trying to bring
All
this
right,
one
curl,
over.
Curl. Curl.
Okay.
10-1.
And I guess that's just right on the nose. And you heard Ross say in the hack he thought that was minimum ice. And that really didn't curl very much.
10-1.
Yeah, they went to the curl pretty quick, so I wonder if he maybe just set it a little bit more than he intended.
10-1. On max.
So this will be a blank attempt for Reed Carruthers. You saw him look at that yellow stone kind of in the back left quadrant as you're looking at it on the screen right now, just to make sure. I think if you dead nutted it, it would probably jam in the house, but that you'd have to get very unlucky for that to happen.
Also very thin to dead nut it. So.
Might be one of the reasons he chose to play the out turn at this blank attempt versus the in turn. Just because of that small possibility. You could with the in turn actually run your shooter.
Stick your shooter, yeah.
Whoa.
So final stone, Reed Carruthers.
Whoa.
Yep.
Clean.
Seeking the blank.
Whoa.
Clean. Yep. 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 Yep.
And that sounds made, and indeed it is. So we'll put a couple zeros up on the board. Reed Carruthers will keep the hammer in end number 3.
Thanks.
When you've conquered another game, A long day, a job well done, and the final work call. We're your place. Come as you are. Eat locally, enjoy casual.
Just everything's all over the place. Great stone ready.
So another solid end for Team Ross Whyte, forcing Reed Carruthers into the blank. We head into end number 3 with the score still at 2-0, as we said off the top of the broadcast. 2-0, Ross Whyte. A win here would guarantee them a playoff spot, and a loss for Reed Carruthers would mean their exit from this tournament. So important game for both teams, that's for sure.
Great. Get any further than my brush, it's too far.
Good job.
Okay, bud.
So, Mike, what was that you were saying in the break?
We're talking hats.
Line's good.
Yeah, well,
No,
so what happened? It sounds like there's an epilogue to this story because you said last end you gave Robin Bryden your camo hat. And apparently that was a mistake.
I feel like that hat had logged a fair amount of wins early in the season, and I was getting distraught.
Sure.
I actually I had to order another hat
to replace it.
I'm hoping it's here tomorrow.
You need to be invisible on the ice again.
Yeah, exactly. A lot easier to hide when you got the camo hat on.
If you throw the weight closer, I'll finish for you.
Little mistake from Connor slipping to the rings. That's definitely not what you want to see, but Reed will have another chance if he chooses with the 5 rock to still get that corner guard up.
Sportsnet got my car in the shot.
Oh.
Hard.
Yes.
I don't see mine, so you're beating me there.
We got Sportsnet in the house tonight, and they've been here all day today. They're showing the Brad Guzzu-Nicholas Edin game, of which it is currently 1-0 Brad Guzzu leading. If you're in Canada, you can watch that on Sportsnet or Sportsnet Plus. And they just showed a shot of the parking lot, and they showed my car. So that's what I was hoping for. I said, guys, can you get my car in the shot?
Your car is famous now.
It is. Then I thank you.
Because that camera never comes over here to show.
But I think we're
Show your money.
No, and that's for the best.
Your car was as close as it was going to be.
My car's better looking than I am. There's no doubt about that.
I think we're there, but you can knife it if anything.
Yeah.
So the corner guard up now for Connor Negovin, and that will
15-6.
end up in a more desired location than his first.
Good throw. It's way better now.
Here, Catlin saying it's way better now. That's the same spot where we watched in the first end. A couple of rocks come up light, so the game was a little bit heavier. That's to your point earlier, Mike, that part of the ice doesn't get touched in practice. Here, everybody's throwing everything to the middle to try to make the draw of the button, so that to the wings path can be a little bit fresh and new. And it sounds like, and I think that's why Connor's first one slipped in, thinking it was still that little bit heavy. And Catlin just confirming that now that path is sliding pretty nice, so they should be safe there now.
Whoa. Good shot. 13-8.
So a little tap made there by Duncan McFadgen. What was that about, Mike? You like it?
As in, that was pretty nice.
A really good shot, yeah.
Ooh.
You know, it's so nice that Reed can't afford to leave that situation in the middle.
It ended up perfectly buried, too. Like, that's a hard shot.
You needed that weight to make the shot. Like, you were 13-8.
And here we are again, looking for Derek to really make a changing shot, splashing these yellows around, and saving his shooter for another corner.
We almost got them all.
He did save it. Great shot.
Yeah, really good.
And that's what Reed was looking for in the second end. Didn't get it. Got out of the end with a blank. And they've got a really good looking setup now.
I think we're moving it. Yeah.
An uncomplicated setup, I guess I would say.
Yeah, not dangerous. So you're looking to get your 2, obviously, but you can't really afford to give up a steal either. So if there's a bunch of clutter in the middle, then as much as you want to get your 2, then all of a sudden you're playing a run back, like you said, because you can't afford to leave it there. So now for Reed, a pretty low risk potential deuce here.
Clean.
So Peel called for Duncan McFadgen, and that's made.
Normal. Whoa, 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 whoa. Clean.
This is gonna curl.
Clean. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Curl, curl, curl.
Is there a world where you would have ignored this one and just come around the corner?
Okay.
Yep.
I think in this world I would have.
Okay, fair. I just said you two are you're both in this slam. I didn't want to overstep my bounds, but okay, yeah, that was my thought as well. I was a little surprised not to see them draw around the corner.
The other option would be rolling that to change the position so that it's not such a dangerous shot.
Clean.
But they nose it, which is something they didn't want to do. I think Reed would have, at minimum, like to roll and change the position of that stone. So we'll see if he changes his mind or goes for the roll again.
Easy.
Easy now.
Being very patient.
Very patient, yeah.
And sometimes impatient.
Yeah, I tend to be impatient as well. So maybe we're just biased.
Well, what would be the reason behind being a little more patient here as opposed to maybe playing a little more aggressively around the guard?
It is an odd end.
I was going to say, that's the only thing I can think of. It's a third end, so if he blanks again, he's maybe not devastated. Get your deuce in the even end.
If that's the case, I think we will see Reed kick up the offense in the fourth end.
You're gonna have to go hard.
There'll be more risk taken.
Yeah, I agree with that. If that is what's going on, which I can't really think of another reason why you would do that. So that must be what he's thinking.
So Catlin didn't roll the correct way, or at least the way that Reed wanted, but it does roll a little bit to the outside. Perhaps if Robin Bryden also rolls a little to the outside, maybe we see Reed test that corner guard. But I would imagine Ross would like to roll this a little more towards the middle. Or just right on the nose.
They're kind of sweeping to keep it right there.
Yeah. So now Reed calling for the roll behind the corner, if possible, for Catlin Schneider. It's pretty long, probably about a 6-foot roll.
Whoa. Curl.
I don't think Catlin would like that too much out of the hand. Connor Negavan trying to make that curl. You want that to hang on for sure. And it will.
I don't know, Chelsea. I don't think we're going to get to see anything around that corner guard.
I think that corner guard is dying on a hill over there, and it's going to get kicked to the backboards with nothing ever going around it. I'm with you.
It's a great feeling as a lead. You put a corner guard up and your team says, you know what? Not interested.
Sometimes the only thing they're good for is running into the middle.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, in fairness, that was not a thrown corner guard. That ended up there after a Derek Samagalski hit and roll. But
just try to roll to kind of edge of 4.
You heard Ross say there, they just want to roll this more towards the middle.
Yeah, for Ross, just wanting to probably roll far enough that if Reed were to go around the corner, he wouldn't be shot rock. So just anywhere in enough that if Reed sunk that, which I don't think he could be more than full 12 to be buried. So just that little roll in so that he's always going to be shot if Reed did decide to go around that corner. But based on how he's called this end, I doubt that's going to be the case.
Whoa. Clean. Yep.
And how about that, just for fun? Perfect roll. That round of applause you heard was Oscar Eriksson making just an absolutely nasty shot. Just filthy. A near triple, a double, and moving the red one out of being third shot. So Adin's lying 3. That's even this pro Gushu crowd begrudgingly applauded the excellence from Oscar.
He is something of a doctor, kind of surgical in his shot making at times.
Absolutely, Dr. Oscar. So another hit here for Reed Carruthers. This is, you don't usually see ends like this too often at a slam where you can see the blank coming about 8 rocks away. But that's certainly the goal here. They're calling for a sweep, though. You absolutely cannot roll out here. I mean, you don't really want to roll any closer to that corner guard. But good sweep from Derek Samogulski right on the nose. Now, does Ross go aggressive for the roll here?
May as well.
Yep. I think it'll just be a matter of how hard he feels he needs to throw this, because it is a long roll and not a lot of real estate to, at the end of that roll to actually be hanging on to. So I suspect this will be a more of a full weight hit to make that kind of roll.
I would agree, and it's, you may as well go after it because you're giving up the blank either way. So if you roll out, it doesn't really change anything, and if you did make it perfect, all of a sudden it turns into a force. So I think you throw this reasonably hard and try to stick it over there somewhere and hopefully bury a bit of it. Yeah, Ross was about to throw a red rock at a red rock. That's not usually what you're looking to do.
Visually, that would have caught him off guard.
Yeah.
We've all done that, though, before.
Oh, absolutely. My team did it today. I yelled down the ice, "We're yellow."
Oddly, curling is actually quite forgiving.
Oh, yeah.
With that rule, not like per se golf would be.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Very punishing.
There's not really a penalty at all. You just put your feet around it and replace the rocks.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not very sophisticated, but it works okay.
Hard! Go!
That's a pretty good attempt at the roll there. It's, I think, should be accessible for Reed here.
I think it's probably wide open, but it only didn't need to roll a whole lot farther to be perfect.
I played a team once, and they threw the wrong color rock and then stopped it halfway down the sheet. Then we had to go, well, that doesn't count.
Yeah, you're not supposed to do that.
You don't do that. That's the one thing you can't do. They realized halfway down the sheet, oh, shoot, we threw the wrong color. Better stop it.
Yeah, so you get a rethrow.
Yeah. Yeah. That's unfortunately not how it works.
No, not so much.
I remember many years ago playing in a Super League game, kind of a competitive, fun league, and playing with Steve Gold, in fact, who on purpose threw the other team's rock because we had a very slow rock, like a pig, like might have been 8 to 10 feet slow. And the other skip caught on after he'd done it 2 ends in a row and started yelling at him as he's sliding, "Stop him!"
That sounds like a Steve Gould thing to do.
Very, very crafty.
That is
it's
really
very
good.
Crafty. That's brilliant.
I love that. Oh, sorry guys, I'm colorblind.
Really gotta go.
So Sam are on this right out of the hand. You want to make sure you get the blank here. Does it go? No, it doesn't. So you play 5 shots in a row to get the blank, and unfortunately you don't get it. Reed Carruthers forced to 1. Ross Whyte will have the hammer when we come back.
Get a couple guards up. Teeniest little tweak, and it's like. Oh. Should be pretty good here, right? I would think.
Well, team, not an ideal result there for Reed Carruthers. Chased the blank for quite some time, and then when it came down to making the shot for the blank, he doesn't. And just how deflating is that for a Skip Chelsea when you set up the whole end to do the thing you were trying to do and you don't do it?
Yeah, it's a really tough one, and it is difficult when you play the whole end like that. The pressure sort of builds in your head because your whole strategy is that you're going to blank, and it sort of feels like it's supposed to be a given, and it's not a given. You still got to make the shot. So it's not a good feeling as a skip for sure, and Reed won't be happy with that one, obviously. But, you know, you got to kind of try to park it and move on, make some shots here, and hope you can maybe get a steal out of this.
Tight.
Yeah, I think we're setting up for a double center. Just by that guard being so close to the house, I'm expecting a corner here, and I think Reed will call Connor to put a high center guard above that tighter guard.
I agree. I think that's the call. When you don't realize it seems like you're within a point, but when you're one down without the hammer, you're in a no control situation, and you got to go pretty aggressive to try to dig yourself out of that hole. So I like the double center here.
Are we not trying to guard it?
Yep. Absolutely. Just because of how tight that is to the rings, Ross Whyte's team is very proficient at running stones back, as most teams here in the field would. We could probably say the same thing for just about everybody.
Yeah.
But this team is an excellent hitting team. I think we want another guard up in the middle.
Just a 2.
Yeah, if you were throwing a single guard, you'd want it a few feet longer than that, probably, right? Just to make that run back a little bit tougher.
Well, never curl. Let it sit. Let it sit. Let it sit.
Shot. Nice.
It's good.
Good weight.
Kind of blocked. A little bit difficult for Ross to get in behind his corner guard.
Yeah, it's an over curl, but that's the right way to miss it, because it kind of doesn't take it away, but it makes it really tough to get around that corner. So
staggered centers.
Yeah,
my team doesn't like when I call that. we have had some arguments on whether that works well or not.
I've done it with some teams too, and they also fought me on it. But I think it's smart, and I mean they would have liked it a bit longer than that probably. But that little bit of a stagger it really does take away that corner guard, which is kind of the point.
I have small sample size of when it's worked.
Yeah, that's fair.
I need to log this every time just so.
Yeah, so that you can tell them why you're doing it next time.
They've probably got an equal amount of data when it doesn't work.
The battle continues.
Yeah, I like that. High 14s.
So staggered centers up.
The whole way.
And one Ross Whyte counter in the rings. Looks like a freeze called here for Derek Samogolski.
Heard them say high 14, so really nice speed
here.
Bit
light.
Line!
Catlin said he thought it was light out of the hand here, and Reed calling for line, so
really gotta go.
This is probably flirting with that center guard.
Gotta bounce this a bit.
Oh, he's on it, I think. He just said gotta bounce it a bit.
Whoa, curl,
a little light and a little tight, not the combination that you want.
Okay. Well, and we talked about it earlier, but we really have seen it all week long from the broadcast booth. If you're light on your draw weight, especially a guard or a freeze that's up in the house a little bit, there's no saving it if you're light on that. It's just going to curl a mile.
The best way I can describe some of the conditions, at least not from the first day, I think we had a little bit more of a glassy surface that was running out better. I can just see we have more humidity in the building right now. We have a larger crowd. And I think how I would describe it is you kind of got to mean your throw a little bit, in that last move on draw shot can't be too gentle. Have you ever heard that term, John, where finishing the throw just needs to be slightly more exaggerated so that you get that run out?
Yeah, we used to just say release it positively. You know, I mean, it's just
or mean it. Yeah,
exactly. however you want to. Yeah, mean it's good for sure.
We'd say put it there. Like you have to. So like you can kick the same. Your kick speed doesn't necessarily change, but yeah, the gentle release is not going to work for you. It has to be that little crisp that's set. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you've got to get it running a little bit if you're going to have a chance.
And I think it's just trusting, too, you know, knowing that as you're sliding at the broom, you're never coming on the tight side of it. You know, that the positive in a throw is always going to be being a little bit wide as opposed to a little bit narrow. And just, like, really knowing that in your head, I think for sure that's something our team would have talked about, absolutely.
Yeah, and that doesn't always apply to every ice surface.
No, for sure not. Yeah.
But definitely with the amount of curl we're seeing out tonight, I think that those misses where, and we just saw Derek touch the front center guard, those misses are often going to be tight if you don't get it running out long enough.
Yeah, and what you find on ice like that is if you're saying hearing hard early for line, you're dead. You're not going to get it by because you can't save it once you do that. If you get it running a bit, then even if you're a little tight, you can manage that with a sweep. But if you're not that little positive set release, then you're not, no matter which sweeper, I don't care who you have sweeping that rock, there's no way you're going to save it.
So this is kind of an interesting situation for Ross. You just had 2 misses in a row by your opponent, but it almost seems like you don't know exactly what to do here.
Things are sort of locked down in the middle, right?
Yeah, 4 center guards up for Team Carruthers.
Isn't extremely comfortable for
10
us.
Clean. Off. Carol.
Even though he is sitting 2.
Yeah, like you think if you're sitting 2 and one of them's on the top of the button, you're happy, but you're not really happy right now if you're Ross Whyte.
I love the call.
I love the call,
I
too.
think that was a dangerous stone sitting out there, something that Reed could use.
And you don't need to do anything fancy because you're sitting 2. You just can't leave it there for him to run in. So smart, patient.
And still a precise hit, actually.
Oh, yeah, like again, we go, oh, it's just a nose hit. Well, it's not. And on a guard, it can be harder because the finish on this ice is so late that when you're hitting a rock that's that much higher,
you have to adjust.
You have to adjust the ice.
You hit that a little high, you hit it under your own. You hit it a little low, you might actually roll and hook the center, which is awful.
Which is, even actually probably worse than driving it onto your own.
So that was actually a little precise hit, even though, it looks like a very straightforward shot. But that needed to be thrown and made in a very specific spot for it to be useful. And something that Reed obviously, is cumbersome to him getting into the
I think we got to move
forefoot.
something over here so we have access to the button again.
Okay.
I'm just thinking
that's why I didn't mind this, but
yeah, I don't like that.
Okay.
What are they looking at, Chelsea?
Board?
I'm not sure. Catlin's needing to move that guard to what we were just talking about.
Are they looking at board on the center, red onto Ross's yellow
I'm
with
wondering. Yeah, and
just
then maybe
to clear a pathway into the middle?
Yeah, and then you might be able to kick this yellow. You want to land it frozen on that yellow, but if you could ever kick it a bit and leave your shooter there, it would be pretty good.
Remove one of Ross's yellows, roll your shooter so that it's still sort of a centerish guard that you can maybe use again back into the house. I like this call.
I like it too. It's creative, but I'm into it.
It's just a question of how much weight do you
I like
throw at
this. You do. Just got to pick the weight, like somewhere between board and easy.
Okay.
Right?
Easy? Okay. Easy, and I'm trying to feather the 7?
Yeah. We're basically aiming for the hole and just trying to chill.
Oh, I see. So trying to get the shooter to spin back through the hole, probably carry through to in the house.
This might have been the hardest shot they could have picked.
I agree. It's really good if you make it, though.
We'll see if Catlin is up to the task here. You heard him say they just want to feather their own yellow stone and redirect into the yellow Ross Whyte stone in the top 8.
Clean.
Yep.
And Connor Negevin on this right away.
Yep. Whoa. Yep. Whoa. Girl.
Sounds close. Oh my gosh. Couldn't do that if you tried.
They feathered it.
They did indeed feather it.
Turns out feather's not a precise enough term, apparently.
Yes. It was a feather, but it was off of a very small bird.
Yes.
They needed
Too small. They needed like an eagle feather.
An eagle feather.
Yeah.
That was a little more of a hummingbird feather. They needed to tap into the bald eagle, something in the raptor division of birds. So unfortunately, that will go right through the hole, and now this is starting to look a little scary, I would imagine, if you're Team Carruthers.
Definitely.
Yep. Yes. Hard. This one, Yun.
I think this is an audible.
Hard.
A great audible. I don't think that was the called shot.
No, Ross apologized to Reed. So
it definitely wasn't the call, but what a well-managed rock that is, because that turned out probably better than the call.
What were they trying? That's what I'm trying to figure out. Were they trying to draw around it?
I thought the call was they were drawing through the port.
hole.
Through the port.
That's what I thought
Is
too.
off really hard?
heavy and wide on line and
How about that one?
made.
Yeah.
How about this
Like
one?
you said,
That's a great line call.
Yeah.
It's either this, try to get rid of
Yeah, I
two.
do find that is something that skips now, and you two are both skips, are getting better at all the time, recognizing earlier and earlier in a shot if there is an audible that needs to be called. I think, back when I was playing and, even watching top skips play 10, 15 years ago, you were often so late on that. You wouldn't even be able to 3/4 of the way down the ice, and then you go, oh, shoot, maybe we could try this. And I find skips now are adapting so well to throws maybe not being made exactly out of the hand.
Ooh, speed wobble.
Yeah.
A little speed wobble, but like a pretty good recovery.
Yeah, Catlin hangs on here. This is a crucial shot, double run back. He's got 1, 2.
Oh,
that's
great
really
shot.
good from
Great
Catlin
recovery.
Schneider.
That's an end saver by Cat there. That's massive.
Phenomenal shot. We'll take another look at it here. Catlin Schneider, speed wobble on the way out, but no mistake made. Double run back double. Really good from Catlin. Still advantage Team Whyte, but that was a big shot for the team in blue.
Hard. 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 Clean. Yep. Hard.
That's really nice from Robin Bryden.
Another precise
11.
little hit. It does give Reed an opportunity to maybe get shot stone. It's not a pretty looking hole to navigate between the red stones to get access to the shot.
Staggered the right way, though.
The other option he could consider is just drawing to the button.
Yeah, I thought about that too, and it might be the call. It's just a bit scarier because you're leaving 3 in play. If you at least kill a yellow, you're thinking no more than a deuce, but that hole just looks a little nasty. So if you tick on one of the guards, it's the worst possible thing. So this way, at least you got more margin for error to make a good draw in here.
Okay, speed. Okay. Yeah. Like. Okay. Okay, this is draw the button ice.
You hear Reed saying draw the button ice. Often going back to some memory point, draw the button for hammer to start the game that I think he's referencing.
Yeah, and probably the speed of that too, right? So if you're in that same path, then in theory you should have a pretty similar speed.
As long as it hasn't sat too long that area of the ice.
Gotta go everything. Where are we? Gotta go.
This is moving a
Line it up.
lot.
Line it up. Yep.
Line.
Whoa.
So I'm not sure the conditions on that side of the ice, but I have noticed if a side of the ice has been left for say an end or two and you haven't had a wide draw in that same path, it definitely is slowing up by 3, 4, or 5 feet potentially, and that might have been the scenario for Reed throwing in that path. We're not sure, but
yeah, that seemed
it
like
does
it.
happen.
They didn't seem terribly worried about it out of his hand for speed, and then it just kind of curled and came off. So
Line would have been pretty good.
I think the weight's right, the line's perfect. So I think just maybe a little bit fooled there to your point. Maybe it slowed down a little bit. They were thinking it was closer to draw to the button speed, and maybe that little bit slower because it sat for a little while now.
I'm not sure I had seen anybody recently throw out quite that wide.
No, I agree. Yeah, they've been more kind of coming around that staggered guard, middle of the 8-foot kind of thing, and he was out past the edge of the 8 there, so just a bit of a different path.
And this is why us skips love and hate ice reading.
Yes.
It is constantly changing and evolving. It's addictive though. It's what makes our sport so interesting amongst many other things going on, but just the management of the surface in an ever-changing environment is it's just such a, I don't know, it's life's
exhausting.
work.
Yeah, it's exhausting, but it is the thing, like you said, it's a love-hate relationship. Like, I'm hooked on it, but it also is the thing that drives me crazy, right? So that's just the reality, but that's what we signed up for, so we can't be that mad about it.
Well, I also feel like, and I never skipped, but I I always feel like it's almost like playing goalie. It's like if you get the ice wrong, it's your fault. Screw you. But if you get the ice right, no one's ever like, wow, you really put the broom in a great spot.
Yeah, it's true. There's no glory in that, unfortunately.
No glory at all. They never go, wow, what a great broom placement, Mike. You really nailed it on that one. But if it's in the wrong spot, you're definitely going to hear
you'll
it.
hear about that.
You gotta get to here.
I would love if somebody said that to me at any point. That would be amazing. Best compliment ever. Great broom placement.
I haven't heard that in a while.
If ever. Ever have, yeah.
Well, there you go. Skips who are listening, take notes here. Or sorry, I would say non-skips who are listening.
I'm gonna have to use that in an interview after a game.
Well, I really felt like I had the broom in the right place all the time.
And my team didn't acknowledge it at all, but I personally felt like I really had the broom in the right spot a lot.
So it just saw Ross slip a little deep, and that's to kind of what Chelsea and I were talking about. As there's 1, 2, 3 stones down this path, the speed is coming back. And Ross, who for up to this point has had actually really good control of draw weight, slips deep.
It can be one of those things that messes with your head too. You watch Reed throw that and they're not worried about it, and then it comes up as short as it did, and you go, geez, it must be slow there. So you add that little bit extra too, right?
And they would have got a good time
on
Ross's, so we'll see if Reed can make a great adjustment here.
I think based on Ross's, if he throws the same weight, it might be close.
It could have. You're right. It might have actually changed almost that much.
So final rock here for Reed Carruthers in the fourth end, and a attempt to cash in on a get-out-of-jail-free card from Ross Whyte. He's been in trouble all end, but has the opportunity to actually set up a potential steal here if this is made well.
Whoa, that right off. It's got a curl. No, it's
This is really hot.
13-7.
Chelsea, how close did that come to the rub?
It looked really close, and that's 13-7. Kat was a little bit frustrated because they could have swept it for that rub.
Was there enough information on speed?
No, I don't think so.
It sounded like there was we should have played to actually get a feather rub to get that behind.
Yeah, I think
a little tick and roll.
I think the front end maybe thought it was closer than it was, and they could have played that little tick.
Yeah, it sounded like some frustration.
I agree. Get a couple over calls, but that's just throwing it as you have.
Yeah, we talked about Ross Whyte nailing the audible earlier. Unfortunately, Catlin Schneider maybe not recognizing it there, maybe a little failure of communication from the sweepers. But in any case, this is a chance to put a real crooked number on the board here for Ross Whyte. This is a mostly open hit for 4. It's not easy. You can see from that angle. You probably can't see all of the red stone from the hack, but certainly more than enough of it to make it.
They've thrown down this path. We're a little bit tighter into the 8-foot a handful of times. So I think Ross will have a very good idea how this will run.
Clean.
So final stone.
Just clean.
Game-changing rock here for Ross Whyte potentially.
Easy. Clean. Yep.
Duncan McFadgen on and off here.
Yep.
Got to get through the port. They do get through the port. Now do they have enough of the red to push it out? Yes, they do. Phenomenal touch from Ross Whyte. Makes Team Carruthers pay. They will put 4 on the board, and they'll take a 6-1 lead into the fourth end break. We'll see you back here in 3 minutes.
When you've conquered another game, a long day, a job well done, and the final work call, we're your place. Come as you are and fit in comfortably. Mr. Mike's. Eat locally, enjoy casual.
I've stood at the pinnacle of curling and battled in the most intense games.
Out on the ice, there's no room for compromise.
And when the pressure's on,
every millimeter counts.
It's not just a game.
It's about maximizing performance, pushing limits,
seizing victory.
When victory hangs in the balance,
I know what I'm relying on.
It's a gold line.
It's a gold line.
It's a gold line.
And it's the choice of champions.
When you've conquered another game, a long day, a job well done, and the final work call, where your place. Come as you are and fit in comfortably. Mr. Mike's. Eat locally, enjoy casual.
When it comes to the game we love, having the right gear makes all the difference.
Gold Line's new curling shoes and brooms are a game changer.
The shoes, unbelievably comfortable. And the brooms, lightweight and effective, giving you control on every sweep.
When I step onto the ice, I'm not just prepared, I look sharp.
Have you seen these shoes? They are a game changer.
And the brooms? Light as a feather.
It's a Gold Line.
It's a Gold Line.
It's a Gold Line.
And is the choice of champions.
Line's good. Line's great.
Hello, curling fans, and welcome back inside the Silent Ice Center here in Nisku, Alberta for Home Team Live's continuing coverage of the Co-op Canadian Open. John Cullen alongside Chelsea Carey and Mike McEwen for this Draw 12 matchup between Reid Carruthers and Ross Whyte. And Mike, just an unfortunate case last end for Reid Carruthers. You said it, didn't quite learn maybe from Ross's draw before his that came a little heavy. He matches it a little bit too heavy. Ross makes him pay, and now it's a 5-point lead.
Yeah, and as to Chelsea's point, Reid's first stone coming up light. By the time Reid went to go throw a second stone, it was the third down that path. It actually, he might not have needed much more weight than he threw on his initial. It really was getting, you know, with 3 stones, changing to full game speed again that quickly. And I think for Catlin, you know, maybe a little bit frustrated not getting that feather tick and making a great audible on option B. But that was tough. We'd have to go back and look at the audio, whether there was enough information from the front end. But even so, that I think the guys thought it was going to come down.
Yeah, after his first one curled and died so much, I think that it's a reasonable expectation that it's going to curl and come off a little bit, and that just isn't what happened. But yeah, it's
kind of looked like a deer in headlights.
Yeah, you're kind of caught, and then in retrospect, you look at it and go, well, geez, we should have played for the tick. But with the information you had at the time, could you have made that call? So yeah, just an unfortunate series of events there for Team Carruthers. Kind of the story of the game for them, quite frankly.
Speaking of ticks, how about that one from you and Kyle? Reid Carruthers puts the corner guard up, and Ewan corner chops it into the house. Really nice touch there from the big man.
Line's good.
Yeah, that's some confidence.
Also,
you know, we're only in the 5th end and throwing corner guard ticks.
Line's good for 4.
3.5. Go ahead a bit for weight.
It's going to make this end tough on Reid, especially if they are not able to fully cover the red stone in the house and leave a little chaser.
Yeah, over curled maybe a hair, but it's pretty good.
Pretty good, but I think Ross,
you can make it.
There's not much else to do but go after it.
No, and especially because you don't have to throw this very hard. So if you feather rub the guard, you're not probably going to move it into the boards anyway. So worth a try with quiet weight here.
Clean. 12-2. Clean. 12. Just clean. Yep. Hard. Clean. Carl. Job. Job done. Really good.
A little easy.
He made that look really easy. I was just going to say that.
Made that look really easy. Definitely wasn't.
I'm taking notes.
Yeah, really good shot there from Duncan McFadgen.
Let's go, bud. Get it,
And
Renan.
this is not a great start for Team Carruthers, and it's not really any of their own doing. That's that's the unfortunate part. You get the corner guard up perfectly, you get it chipped into the house, you put close to a perfect corner guard on it. Duncan makes a really fine chip shot, gets it out of the house, and
Curl distance.
now you're chasing it all in.
That's defense at its finest, really.
Absolutely.
But it is, I've said this for a long time. I understand, and I think the no-tick rule is great. I think we needed it, and it's really effective. But a corner guard tick is easier to make than a center guard tick, in my opinion.
Yep.
So we're taking away the center guard tick, but we're not doing anything about the corner guard tick, and I've got a little bit of a problem with that. It doesn't sit right.
I wondered
with
when
me.
this would come up.
Talk that talk, Skip. Talk that talk.
Good shot.
Yeah, no, and to Chelsea's point, I think that might be something that we're talking more seriously about in the future. Should we be able to take any guard within the first 5?
Just feels, because it's like I never thought it was an easier shot. I never even thought to play it until I played mixed doubles. And then, of course, it's quite common in doubles to throw it. And I threw it a few times, and I thought, geez, like you can throw almost bumper, board, whatever you want to call it, and hit it anywhere high, and it's a pretty good result. It's like a center guard tick is more precise than that. So I think that eventually if we're gonna not allow center guard ticks, then we need to do something about corner guard ticks too, because that's a bit of a rough one.
And often those wide paths are actually the draw path. So the ice could be better.
Really good, yeah.
Than down the middle.
Yeah, you're in a nice path out there.
So, and that's the path you're taking for the corner guard tick.
Yeah.
So, to Chelsea's point, it actually becomes an extremely makeable shot.
Enough.
Yeah, double peel here now for Robin Bryden. And yeah, I think maybe to both your points, right, when the no tick first came in, not everybody agreed with it, right? There were definitely teams who said, oh, don't take away my precious tick. So I think you have to. It's just baby steps, right? It's like, okay, let's try the center line thing. I think we can probably agree that that's working really well.
Yep.
Maybe we're going to have another line or a box.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
You throw that corner guard in that box and, make it still a game of precision.
Right, so you have to place it properly.
Yes.
I would be fine with that. I just think something needs to happen. And I
for sure.
Is that too much?
Like, taking it away altogether is fine and is the easier option, but like put some precision involved. Like now if you don't hit the center line, it can be ticked. I like that. It makes you be a little bit more precise.
That would be my preferred.
I agree. I would like that better as well.
Because I love it when if another team opponent misses a center and you make that tick and it's just so deflating. Like that's why the leads, every position out here, they need to be precise. So if we're going to look at no corner ticks, we would have to, I think, look at making it still a precise position.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I agree.
Oh, and it seems like an easy sponsorship opportunity, get it sponsored by like a cable company. You get your corner guard in the Shaw box.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hopefully, the bosses are listening.
Hey, I'm making deals up here. It's kind of what I do. I'm sort of like a broadcaster, content creator /
fund development.
Ad salesman. Yeah, exactly.
What did you call the no corner tick box? What was
like the Shaw box. Like you get it sponsored by a cable company or like a pizza company. Like, it's the Domino's pizza box. I'm just spitballing.
But I mean, at the Briar, I think if you put it in the Tim Hortons cup, you can't tick it.
Oh, those
those are dead though. Now you can't say that word.
I know, but
although this is not a Curling Canada broadcast, you can say whatever the hell you want.
And if you were Redstones, those
they
always
get lost in there.
Yeah, always the tripping zone.
Oh yeah. People are tripping over them all the time.
But the Grand Slam has always been innovators and at the forefront of trying out new ideas. And
exactly, yeah.
That might have just been added to the list. I'm sure Nick and everybody in the leadership group is well, the list of ideas is probably pretty long.
I'm sure it is, yeah.
But luckily for us, my ideas go straight to the top, so we don't have to worry about that. I have sort of top of the list privileges, and we will be just fine.
Easy
I don't know if everybody knows this, but John is kind of a big deal.
Well, in my own mind, yes. And we have to say, Robin Bryden, phenomenal shot to pick that red one just off the top of the yellow. So Caitlin Schneider trying to come around everything here, but that's going to end up just rubbing that yellow, feathering it, if you will.
Someday we'll get the invite to be on his new podcast.
Maybe someday. We're both still waiting. They're
Okay,
lost in the mail,
we're
probably.
4 episodes in,
I think if you slosh it there and he frees the
and
ball,
like
it's not
2
gonna go,
major team breakups happened in that time.
Yeah, you picked the right time to start a curling
exactly,
podcast.
exactly, yeah. Yeah, when, I won't say who, but when the EJ and Brad Gujju news dropped, I got a text from a top curler who told me, wow, it must be a really good time to have just started a curling podcast. I said, yeah, we're trying to get EJ on the line here at some point. This has not been a great bounce back for Team Carruthers. And again, not playing terribly, but you go down 5 and just to have your opponents really dig the knife in here. They just have been phenomenal this end. Team Whyte made everything asked of them, and Reed Carruthers hasn't really been able to get the car started.
Yeah, I think, you know, I'm looking at it, 7 out of 7 shots made for Team Whyte so far.
Yep. And like high degree of difficulty shots too. You know, you talk about a corner guard tick, and then that shot that Robin made to not disturb either of the Yellowstones, really thin peel. They were certainly not all gimmies. So Reed now, I guess, just settling for the blank here, playing the double.
Yeah.
I don't see much opportunity other than moving on to the next end.
Yeah. Yeah, hope your opposition doesn't absolutely nail it again.
Yeah, it's too late.
Maybe they'll give us a half miss this time.
The opportunity was with Cats, and unfortunately the line was good. It was just a little bit light. If you get that around both, then maybe you have a chance, but it's too late to throw that now for Reed. So having to just make the double and try again in 6. Unfortunately, not running out of ends here for Team Carruthers to surmount this 5-point deficit.
Yeah, down 5. Derek Samagalski doing the old jacket undone sweep there. You don't see that too often. We used to call that caping. Looks like you got the the Batman cape behind you.
We used to, back in the day, this is years ago, obviously, when we played Sherry Anderson, she would throw like that. She would unzip her jacket and throw like that, and she never missed when her jacket was unzipped like that. It was like danger. When she did it, we were like, uh-oh.
So it was truly like a superhero
Yes,
cape.
it really was.
Mike, here's a skill testing question for you, and Chelsea as well, but this is a men's player, so maybe you would know, but can you think of the men's player who did that most often? There was one guy we basically named the cape after.
Like sweeping or
no,
throwing?
Throwing. Yeah, he was a skip, Alberta skip.
You know, I didn't even know caping was a thing until just now. So honestly, I am I'm not drawing any names here.
Jamie King.
Jamie King.
Big time cape artist.
I didn't know it had a name.
Well, it didn't. We made it up.
I know, but I like it.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I try to get things started. I try to coin like one curling phrase a year. So if caping ends up being the one this year, that's just fine.
I like it.
That'll be your biggest contribution
it
to
could
the
be.
game.
I mean, well, I started Blanksville, and that brought the Mark Bice Twitter account out of 4-year retirement to tell me to stop calling it that. So that was fun. That's when you know you've made it. Because Darren Moulding started using it during Alberta Provincials.
I was going to say that. Darren was saying that a bunch in Alberta Provincial.
Yeah, because I would say like halfway through an end, if it looks like it's about to blank, that we're on our way to Blanksville, or did you get your ticket to Blanksville, whatever. And and then Darren was using it at Alberta Provincials, and then the old at Team Mark Bice account emerging from its 2019 slumber. Don't know if it was Mark Bice or Aaron Squires or who was in there, but someone had some word. They really didn't like it. But in any case, Reed trying to take us all to Blanksville right now with this final stone.
Clean.
And no mistake made, so we'll see if they can put a crooked number up in the 6th.
When you've conquered another game, a long day, a job well done, and the final work call, we're your place. Come as you are. Locally, enjoy casual.
I've stood at the pinnacle of curling and battled in the most intense games.
Out on the ice, there's no room for compromise.
And when the pressure's on,
Every millimeter counts.
It's not just a game.
It's about maximizing performance, pushing limits,
Seizing victory.
when victory hangs in the balance,
I know what I'm relying on.
it's a gold line. It's a gold line. It's a gold.
It's actually been kind of nice.
Well, I think it's safe
Boys,
to
great
say
boys.
that Team
Probably
Reed
a touch
Carruthers
narrow.
definitely getting short on time, and I guess Chelsea, you hate to put this kind of pressure on the end right away, but for Reed, probably have to score 3 here.
I think, yeah. I think, yeah, I mean, even 3, your odds of winning the game are real low, but that's your only chance to stay in it. So I think you're going to see pretty much all-out aggression here from Team Carruthers going for that 3-point score.
Yeah, it's a crooked number or
Less ice, really.
Velcro.
Velcro time.
It just didn't
Yeah,
probably
it's
know
that maybe the half miss they were
for a
looking
while
for
and
here.
kinda
You
straight.
and Kyle trying to draw into the rings and comes up short.
I think is Reed's guarding.
He is guarding
Yeah.
this rock,
Yeah.
because
Which I think is smart.
yeah, you and Kyle could peel it out. For those of you watching who
And
maybe
hey.
don't know, you can peel out your own rock
And
in
now
the free guard zone.
Reed's can't be ticked.
Yeah,
Right, so you avoid the peel of shame. You don't let them throw the peel of shame.
Actually, that's a well-placed stone.
That's a really good guard, yeah.
yeah, nice shot there from Connor Negevin. So for Ross Whyte, this is not really the dream, drawing around 2 center guards up 5, but they have been playing really well, so
Line's good.
maybe a little offense here could act as some good defense.
Line's running great.
Sort of the only choice they have at this point, so gotta lean in.
Line's great. 14-4. No. Very nice dodge, boys. Very good, Jin. Good shot.
And this is what I wondered. Would Reed
Where are we
throw
going?
another center?
I wondered that too. I don't hate it.
I think given the situation that another guard is definitely warranted.
Yeah, I'm with you.
I
he
did
called
too.
the freeze, though, didn't he? Or did he call the guard?
I thought I saw a
it's-
guard
yeah,
signal.
it's not. It's definitely not a draw.
Line's
It's
good
gotta
for
be
1.
guard.
Line's good for 1. Has to
I
sit.
think we're good.
Too heavy.
Okay, has to sit.
Stay close for line. Weight's nice.
Whoa,
We're just
whoa,
over.
whoa.
Shot.
Good sweep.
Pretty good. A little bit more angle than they were hoping, but not by a lot.
I think it's just getting a touch slower in general. So.
You don't see that set up too often when you're trying to with the hammer, a team throwing 2 centers. That's something that a little bit unique.
Almost never, yeah. Pretty much only when they throw an accidental guard. I can't see any other case in which
I have seen it used as a strategy before.
Top it.
You know, like we mentioned, avoiding the corner guard take.
Yeah, well, it's true, because then at least if you put it on the center line, they can't take it, which speaks to the point earlier about maybe doing something about that. But for now, it's a legit strategy for that reason.
Hard, boys. Hard. Okay.
Well, if Ross Whyte needed to steal, this would be a really good setup.
Biting 4.
5 rocks all
3.
along the center line, White sitting 2.
Yeah, get it run nice. Air light, but close. Like early. Top 4, top 8. Gotta go. Gotta go wait. Gotta go wait. Top 4, top 8. No, we're light.
Gotta go. Little bounce.
Okay.
I think we had a little bit of fireworks on the sheet just beside us.
James Craig
Sure
made
did,
a
yeah.
really nice double. In fact, I'm sorry I stopped talking for a second. I'm about to enter it into the shot of the week document that we're running here.
Yeah, taking a 5-1 lead over Team Returnas.
Yeah, it's a must-win game for James Craig. They're at 0-2, similar situation to our sheet. Joel Retornaz is at 2-0, so this would be a a clinching win for Joel Retornaz if they could get it. But yeah, huge 3 for James Craik.
I think give us
James
at least
Rock left a
two-
vapor
two-
trail
two
there.
more
He threw
feet,
that
5 more
very hard.
feet,
It was a
yeah.
really flat double.
And I think as I look over the other sheet, Brad Gushu is throwing against 4 Adine yellows. Adine has hammer.
Top 4.
Oh, you're right, too. He's
Line's
playing
good.
a run back.
We gotta go.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Go ahead, line.
We're not terrible for weight. We can get it there.
Line.
Top 8.
Line's good.
Crowd
Line.
likes it. Whatever
Distance.
Brad did. They like it.
Made shot. I think Nick
Good
is
sweep,
looking
Connor.
at a
Really good sweep.
run double,
good sweep.
potentially.
So nice sweep there from Connor Negevin on our game. Gets that Derek Samagalski rock almost corner frozen.
Pretty good.
Double peel called now for Robin Bryden.
Yes. Hard.
Duncan McFadgen on this right out of the hand. And unfortunately jams it, but
Clear.
not bad, yeah.
Yeah,
Cleared-
lost
cleared the middle.
guards, Yeah.
Only one guard left for Reed to get behind cover.
Reed is going to try and draw around that corner guard that was left there by Robin.
There is a real possibility here of Team Carruthers generating a 3 with four shots, 4 reds to go. If these are all made, they have a real possibility of generating some offense here.
You need a little cooperation from Team Whyte, which they haven't gotten so far. But yeah, you could put a lot of pressure on them with a couple of well-placed stones here. Looks pretty unassuming, but it's actually quite scary for Team Whyte.
Derek Samagalski trying to get this one to curl. You need to get buried around this corner, and they wanted it deeper than this, I think.
It's there. Yeah.
I think we're going to look at a little quarter rock on the top yellow.
It might be able to get both reds here, you
Getting
think?
both reds.
You could, yeah.
Well, this could be a game-ending shot, potentially, for Robin Bryden if he makes it. Would make it very tough for Reed to score a multiple if he does.
Gotta go. Really gotta go.
Close. Too thick.
Oh,
got it.
Backdoored it.
Oh, that is a tricky way to make that.
I'll say.
Yeah, that's pretty much the story of the game for
Yeah,
Team Carruthers.
no kidding. What a way to make that. Let's take another look here. Wow, and July 2 when it's all said and done as well. Unbelievable. Not exactly the way they were calling it.
Like probably like
It's a shot you apologize for, but I mean, it's close to being made the way they wanted to make it. It's not a total fluke. Just a little interesting.
You guys 6 feet kind of thing. It's definitely more.
Yep. Clean.
Line.
Yep. Yep.
Line.
Yeah.
Line.
This is really curling.
This is taking off.
Okay.
Well, if you're Reed, do you consider just shaking hands now, or?
It has to feel like that for them. They can't seem to buy one. They're close and they're not worried about it early, and then it really curls, and just nothing going right, unfortunately, for.
Dad knows it's okay.
Have you guys had that happen before?
Oh yeah.
Someone
once or
quitting in the
twice.
middle of an end?
No, I don't think anyone's
I've definitely thought about it.
Yeah, I've thought about it too. I thought about it today, actually, earlier this morning. We were playing Rachel Holman and we hogged 2 rocks in a row. We were down about 4, and I thought, okay, well, we might as well just shake now, but we didn't.
Yeah, that was how it
That
happened.
probably would have been as good a time as any.
Yeah,
exactly.
In fairness, the second one picked, so that wasn't really, that was just bad luck. But yeah, it was one of those where we were already probably not going to win, and then that happened, and it felt a little bit like I could turn around and shake hands right now. But we played, and actually we actually had an opportunity to get at one point about 4, so it turned around pretty quick. But so it's a good thing we didn't. But no, I don't think anyone's ever done that. I've seen it done.
Yeah, it happened to me once. Pat Simmons back in the day, his team with Johnny Moe and Carter and Nolan Thiessen. I think they maybe they had gotten in one the night before. It wasn't their best effort, I'll say that. And yeah, I think they wanted. We were up maybe 3 or 4, and they wanted to quit. Well, some of their team members wanted to quit after 7 or after 6, like going into 7, and others did not. And then yeah, Johnny Moe hogged a guard. And we were lying 2 or something like that. And they were just throwing a guard. He hogged the guard. He just turned around, took his glove off. He said, "That's good. We're done. See you guys." So that's the only time it ever happened to me. But yeah, it's. I think you know what I say. Let's normalize it. More teams should quit whenever they want. So this is a corner freeze here, I'm guessing, for Reed. Trying to manufacture a deuce.
Going around it now. I'm not sure if that was the audible or the original call, but
yeah, I could be wrong. That may have been the original call. In any case, I think it's probably accessible for Ross. Sorry, Chelsea.
No, you're good. Yeah,
pretty good though. It's
yeah.
I think it's. What do you think, Chelsea? Almost all buried.
Yeah, you might be able to see an inch of it or so, and I mean it's definitely makeable, but a pretty good effort, really.
Mm-hmm.
Would have loved it to go maybe half a rock deeper, like just enough to stay shot, but bury a hair more. But pretty good.
See what Ross decides to take on here.
Gotta get farther than
Looks like he has a few options. He could come through the hole, I think, and just kind of chop that yellow. You could play a run back on either of those 2 yellows if you wanted, but he's saying he's kind of seeing this like tap back here. That feels to me like maybe the hardest shot. I don't know about what you guys think.
I think the hole is hard. I think probably that back yellow is a little bit more buried than it looks like on the overhead here from the hack, but this is no picnic. But at the same time, if you clip either of those, yeah, like I don't think there's a ton of risk in it. Worst case, you're giving up 2, right? So I think worth a try, and if you make it and sit a couple, then it's probably game over.
It's just being a great leader, picking the full team shot, letting everyone share in the glory, versus Ross sitting down and whipping a double
just
run.
So selfless.
So final stone for Ross Whyte, and it could be the final stone for him of the game, depending on the result of this. Just a quiet tap back here on the Reed Carruthers counter.
Carl. Clean. Straight. Yep. Whoa. Clean. Yep. Clean.
And just like that, makes it look easy.
They've made everything look easy this game.
So it is Whyte lying 3, and Reed will have to settle to a draw. Needs a piece of the forefoot here for 1.
I think we'd have a hard time counting past one hand how many misses Team Whyte has had as an entire team.
Yeah, I don't think he'd get past one hand.
Well, I think, what do you think, John? We're looking at a draw and a concession here, unfortunately, for Team Carruthers.
Would say that's most likely. Maybe not, but we've been surprised. So we'll see. You got to make this one first, for sure. We'll start with that.
Regardless, try to end on a good note if that is the case.
Yeah, final stone here for Reed Carruthers. And number 6 needs a piece of the forefoot for 1. The sweepers like it.
You guys okay? Good shot.
And indeed they do like it, and we'll see if this is a shake or not. Yes, it is. So that will cinch up a playoff spot for Team Ross Whyte as they improve to 3-0, and that will be the proverbial end of the tournament for Reed Carruthers. They'll have one more game left, but at 0-3, the playoffs will be an impossibility. So a really nice win for Team Ross Whyte. Full value for the 6-2 victory tonight. They move on to the playoffs, and we move on to tomorrow. We'll be back at 8:30 a.m. local time tomorrow with continuing coverage of the Co-op Canadian Open. For the whole team here at Home Team Live, Mike McEwen and Chelsea Carey, I've been John Cullen. Good night.
Here we go. It's happening.
Yeah, draw for the win for Ryland